Hello all and welcome to today's Sefer portion. Today we're going to be reading VAYIQRA, or Leviticus 15 and 16. Chapter 15. And Yahuwah spoke unto El Moshe and unto El Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man has a running issue out of his flesh because of his issue, he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness, all that have in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue. It is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lies that has the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sits shall be unclean. And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that sits on anything whereon he sat that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that touches the flesh of him that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if he that has the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And what saddle soever he rides upon that has the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that bears any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. Excuse me. And whomsoever he touches that has the issue, and has not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And the vessels of earth that he touches, which has the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that has an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahuwah unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahuwah for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the evening. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening. And everything that she lies upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sits upon shall be unclean. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lies shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lies, all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sits upon shall be unclean, as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall offer Olitevet, the one for a sin offering, and Olitevet the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahuwah for a issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate Olitevet the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness. when they defile all the Tevet, my tabernacle that is among them. This is the Torah of him that has an issue, and of him whose seed goes from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that has all the Tevet an issue, of the man and of the woman, and of him that lies with her, that is unclean. Chapter 16. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before Yahuwah and died. And Yahuwah said unto El Moshe, Speak unto El Haron, your brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will appear in a cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on a holy linen coat, and he shall have linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with the linen girdle, and with the linen turban shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash all the Tevet his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take of the assembly of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer all the Tevet his bullock for a sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take all the Tevet, the 2 goats, and present them before Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Yahuwah, and the other lot for Azazel. And Aaron shall bring all the Tevet, the goat upon which Yahuwah's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to be Azazel shall be presented alive before Yahuwah to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for Azazel into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring Olive Tevet, the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill Olive Tevet, the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from the altar before Yahuwah, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put all the Tevet, the incense, upon the fire before Yahuwah, that the cloud of the incense may cover all the Tevet, the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill all the Tevet, the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring all the Tevet his blood within the veil, and do with all the Tevet that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seats. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place because of the uncleanness of the children of Israel, and because of their transgressions and all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of the assembly that remains among them in the midst of their uncleanness. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the assembly when he goes in to make atonement in the holy place until he come out, and have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the assembly of Israel. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before Yahuwah, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. And he shall sprinkle of the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. And when he has made an end of the reconciling all the Tevet, the holy place, and all the Tevet, the tabernacle of the assembly, and all the Tevet, the altar, he shall bring all the Tevet, the live goat. And Aaron shall all the Tevet lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the Tevet, all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all the Tevet, all their transgressions, and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all the Tevet, all their iniquities, unto a land not inhabited, And he shall let it go. And he shall let go all the tevet the goat in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall put off all the tevet the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And he shall wash all the tevet his flesh with the water in the holy place, and put on all the tevet his garments, and come forth and offer all the tevet his burnt offering. And all the tevet the burnt offering of the people, to make an atonement for himself and for the people. And all the tevet the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. And he that let go all the tevet the goat for Azazel shall wash his clothes, and bathe all the tevet his flesh in water, and afterward come into the camp. And all the tevet the bullock for the sin offering, and all the tevet the goat for the sin offering, and all the tevet whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp. And they shall burn in the fire all the tevet their skins, and all the tevet their flesh, and all the tevet their dung. And he that burns them shall wash his clothes, and bathe all the tevet his flesh in water. And afterwards he shall come into the camp. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month of the 10th day of the month ye shall afflict all the tevet your souls, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourns among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Yahuwah. It shall be a Shabbat of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict all the tevet your souls by a statute forever. And the priest whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate all the tevet to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make an atonement, and shall put on all the tevet the linen clothes, even the holy garments. And he shall make an atonement for all the tevet the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for all the tevet the tabernacle of the assembly, and for all the tevet the altar. And he shall make an atonement for the priests, and for all the people of the assembly. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year. And he did as Yahuwah commanded all the tevet Moshe. Well, that's it for today's read. Until next time, may you all have a great night and a fantastic tomorrow.